Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Explore and Engage with Anam. There's breaking news, and I am very, very happy. And I'm going to share with you the breaking news. Pakistan plans to nominate President Donald J. Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. This is so exciting. When I heard this, I was so happy. And I think definitely President Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. He's always trying to promote peace between countries all over the world. That's always his goal. He is the peacemaker. He wants to promote peace. And out of all the countries in the world, it is Pakistan, a Muslim majority country, that has decided to nominate President Donald Trump for this prize. A Muslim majority country, Pakistan, nominating the American president, Donald Trump, for the Nobel Peace Prize. It is truly a wonderful surprise, and I love it. But I think that this is something that was supposed to happen, because if you have been paying attention to a series of events that took place over the last several months, if you have been analyzing a series of events that took place, and I'm going to share with you that, then, you would understand that this was supposed to happen. We have been seeing, my friends, a strengthening of relationship between Donald Trump and the Muslim community. And if you have been following my YouTube channel, if you have been listening to my podcast episodes as well as the live streams that I've done on my YouTube channel, then you know that I have talked about this. I have been talking about President Trump and the fact that the Muslims in America have strongly supported Donald Trump in the November 2024 election. Now, before the November 2024 election, President Trump received major endorsement from the highly respected Muslim leaders in Michigan. And I talked about this on my YouTube channel. I have talked about this. And I was very happy when I first found out about this major endorsement. It was all over the news. This was before the November 2024 election. President Trump received major endorsement from the highly respected Muslim leaders in Michigan. And I had said at the time that the endorsement in Michigan will help President Trump win support from Muslim voters in other states across the United States. And we saw what happened. President Donald J. Trump won overwhelmingly. He got the Electoral College vote, absolutely, but he also won the popular vote. And I'm sure that the popular vote total includes many votes from Muslims all over America. And then, once President Trump was sworn in, once he officially entered the White House, and we saw after he started his second term in office, we saw that during the holy month of Ramadan, that is the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, President Donald J. Trump held an iftar dinner in the White House for the Muslim community. And I wrote a letter to the editor about this. I wrote a letter to the editor which was published in the Chicago Tribune. And in that letter, I wrote that I'm happy to see President Donald Trump strengthening ties with Muslims. I wrote that I want to thank President Trump for his commitment to be there for the Muslim community. And in that letter, I also wrote that President Trump recognizes the support that he received from the Muslim community in the November election. Furthermore, I wrote in that letter that President Trump unites all people, regardless of race, religion, or color of the skin. I wrote that I'm excited to see President Trump strengthening his bond with the Muslim community in America. I wrote that, and you can find the full letter in the Chicago Tribune. This was published. And then in the month of May, we saw that the first 3 countries that President Trump visited for an official tour since starting his second term in office, what were those countries? Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates, all Muslim majority countries in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates, all Muslim majority countries in the Middle East. And on my YouTube channel, I talked about the grand welcome that President Trump received when he visited the Middle East. It was not that long ago. It was in the month of May. It was last month. The grand welcome that he received in the Middle East. And the whole world watched. The whole world saw the amazing visit. The visit to Saudi Arabia, the visit to Qatar, the visit to the United Arab Emirates. The Muslim world is embracing President Donald Trump, and he's recognized as the peacemaker in the world. And when tension started between India and Pakistan, President Trump played a key role in diffusing the tension and bringing stability back. Remember, it happened not too long ago. There was a lot of tension between India and Pakistan. And it was President Donald J. Trump who helped ensure that the tension doesn't escalate, that peace can come back, peace can be restored, stability can be brought back. And that is why President Trump is the peacemaker. And for that, for what President Trump did to make sure that the situation between India and Pakistan doesn't get worse, that peace can be restored, what President Trump, the role that he played, for that the world is going to be very, very grateful. And President Trump is highly respected in Pakistan. And also, let us not forget that during President Trump's joint address to Congress earlier this year, he thanked the government of Pakistan for helping arrest the monster who committed the Abbey Gate bombing in Afghanistan. That is a direct thank you from the President of the United States, Donald Trump. And he thanked the government of Pakistan. And Pakistan's Prime Minister, Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, thanked President Trump for acknowledging and appreciating Pakistan's role and support in counter-terrorism efforts. So the bond between the two countries, the United States of America and Muslim majority Pakistan, has been strengthened tremendously. It is stronger than ever before. And most recently, according to reports, President Donald Trump hosted Pakistan's Army Chief Asim Munir for lunch at the White House. This is a major development. And you see what is taking place. The formation of a very, very strong bond between President Donald J. Trump and the Muslim majority countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and the United Arab Emirates and Pakistan, and of course Jordan. Let's talk about Jordan. Earlier this year, President Trump met with King Abdullah II of Jordan at the White House. So you see, what is happening? President Donald J. Trump is building new bridges and he's gaining new allies, including these Muslim majority countries. And my friends, as I've said before, during my live streams on YouTube, there's a major transformation going on. A major transformation going on in the world. Now, historically, if you look at our history and our involvement in the world, you go back decades and you look at our history, we have had certain allies, and then there were countries that were neither adversaries nor allies, and then there were countries that were in the list of our adversaries. So administrations, year after year, went along with these established lists of friends and foes. Okay, which countries are our friends? Which countries are not our friends? Historically, these lists were established, and one president after another went forward, following this list. But then President Trump, when he came to office, especially during his second term, he is rejecting these traditional lists of friends and foes. He's evaluating the world map. He's taking a look at the entire map of the world, and he's looking at the relationships that we have with all these countries around the world. And President Trump is using his judgment and his authority and leadership to determine which countries are truly our friends. Which countries can we rely on? Which countries are going to be our friends going forward? And which countries have been taking advantage of us by posing as our friends? And I think President Trump's general approach is to have more friends. He has an open mind, and he wants to improve relationships with countries around the world. And in particular, he is trying to create a very strong relationship with the Muslim majority countries. And we see such a remarkable breaking news that Pakistan plans to nominate President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. This is so wonderful. And so once again, going back to what I said before the election, there is growing support for President Donald J. Trump among the Muslims, meaning the Muslims in the United States as well as Muslims around the world. There's growing support for Donald J. Trump. And he's recognized as the peacemaker. And what does that tell us? That tells us that Donald Trump unites people. He truly unites people. And my friends, it's a great day in America. I believe that our future is bright, and I believe that we will be stronger than ever before. And it's a great honor for all Americans to see Pakistan deciding to nominate President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. It's a great honor for all Americans. And so I'm very happy, and I'm very optimistic, and I think our future is bright. I think we will achieve tremendous prosperity. And I think going forward, I look at what's going on right now, and in spite of all the challenges, I think we as a country, we will do great. And I'm grateful that we have Donald J. Trump in the White House, and I'm also very happy, very, very happy and grateful that we have Republicans in charge in the United States House of Representatives, as well as the United States Senate. Republican majority in the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate. So, my friends, once again, it's a great day in America, and our future is bright. And I'm so very happy to see Pakistan deciding to nominate President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. He truly is the peacemaker. So share with me your thoughts. I want to hear from you. And you can go to my website. My website is tausifanam.net. You can go to my website. You can read my blog posts. You can check out my list of published opinions. You can also send me a message through my website. You can sign up for my e-newsletter. And if you want to email me, my email address is tausif@tausifanam.net. And if you want to connect with me on social media, you can do that. I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X. And I am also on Truth Social. So connect with me, share with me your thoughts. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you once again for continuing to listen to my podcast, and I hope to be back again soon with a new episode of Explore and Engage with Anam.